a massive newborn. Good morning, welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. I know that y'all have missed some of the time in the kitchen. I've spent a ton of time outside, but we have finally starting to get a good amount of rain, so I'm kind of stuck inside for the next little bit. I'll be going in and out. We really need to weed the garden, but that is for later in the video. Right now I am getting dinner ready. It is 9 o'clock in the morning and I am going to be putting some goat in the crock pot. Now, I have a story about this particular goat. Normally I don't know which goat it is that we are eating. I actually got a comment not that long ago, an angry person who said, you know, which pet are you eating tonight? And number one, they're not pets, but most of you know that. We have livestock here on our homestead, and this particular goat was a buck named Lightning that I actually tried to sell for about 1.5 years. He was a very sweet goat. He took treats, he took loving, and he had a name, and he just wouldn't sell. And so by October, I had to do something with him because I can't keep just an infinite number of goats here. And when he was processed, one of the cool things about him is his fat is yellow. It was immediately obvious while he was being processed that his fat was a little bit different. I don't really know what caused that. But yeah, see that? The yellow fat. So it's a rare occasion that I know exactly what goat we're eating, but I kind of enjoy knowing. I know the entire life story of this animal. I know it sounds strange to some people, but that feels really good. I know his life. I know that he had a great life and that he had a happy life. And he didn't even have one bad day or one bad moment. He had no idea. He was a wonderful goat that is now serving a wonderful purpose. All right, so I've got my crock pot here, and it's just real basic what I'm going to set up today. I think a lot of people overcomplicate cooking, especially when basically all you have are ingredients. It can be really tempting to try to make some, you know, elaborate concoction all the time, but many times what we're cooking is really simple, and because we have high quality ingredients, it's delicious. All I'm gonna do is take out the goat shoulder. He is a Nigerian dwarf, and so his parts and pieces are smaller than, you know, some of our mini lamachas, but it's cute, fits great in the crock pot. I might actually have to cut this little tendon right here so he fits a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. Just behind the elbow. And all I'm going to put in here for now is some French onion soup that I canned from onions that we grew last year. This was canned using bone broth from our animals. A few stray hairs, par for the course. Got a little bit of fat stuck in there. I do want to put that in here. The fat's obviously from the bone broth and not from the onions. A what?
A mini pepper.
Oh.
It's starting to grow in my plant.
I thought you meant that you, like, harvested a pepper. I was
it's a mini, like, a pepper is definitely, it's like one of the peppers. It already flowered and... I
totally believe you. I just thought you said you had a mature pepper, which would be really early for that. Now I've just got it over here to the side on low. It's gonna sit like this all day. I actually got into a groove today amidst the rainstorms, and I made some butter today. And about 2 hours ago, I cut up some potatoes after washing them and stuck them in the crock pot with the goat. So we're nearing dinner time now, and you might be able to see I've got a bowl down here. The other day, I roasted some broccoli without soaking it, and we did unfortunately find a surprise. And so we need to soak out any kind of little creepy crawlies that might be in the broccoli. And I'm going to use some salt in this water. This will draw them out if they're in there. I have seen cabbage loopers in the greenhouse right now. It is the time of year for that. Roughly a tablespoon. And I have some purple of Sicily cauliflower from the greenhouse, as well as some broccoli. Just gonna pour that in this water and let it soak. Look, a surprise. It's organic, okay? This purple of Sicily cauliflower is awesome. They call it cauliflower, and I'm sure botanically it's probably cauliflower, that's why it has the name, but it has the exact texture of broccoli. This variety of cruciferous vegetable is the variety that I had the success with first. And broccoli took me a long time to figure out. And what I've learned is that I either need to grow this or I need to grow hybrids that are more tolerant to temperature swings. Okay, so I will show you the goat and what it looks like at the moment. I'm going to pull out the potatoes. They've been in for about 2 hours at this point, and I left the skins on. Easily can cut them with a spoon, so that's great. Smells incredible in here. These are not potatoes that we grew. We are growing a lot of potatoes this year, but these are potatoes that we bought. And here's the potatoes for right now, and then this is what the goat looks like. What I would like to do is debone the goat and turn this French onion soup essentially into a gravy. We're gonna mash these potatoes. I have a potato masher, but I find that this little doohickey that I got from my mom, this works better in like a rounded bowl. The potato masher is good in like my pot for the stove that has more square sides. This fits perfectly into the round corners of the bowl. Now, russet potatoes are very starchy, and in order to get them a more creamy texture, you do want to add some milk or some fats like butter. We have some goat butter that I whipped up earlier. So partway through the mash, we'll add all that. Got some goat milk. Add about half of this butter. It's probably about half a stick. Lots of farm dust. Don't forget to taste it so that your inner Gordon Ramsay doesn't yell at you. Gorgeous. My husband Levi doesn't have a set time that he's due to be home every day, and he usually works decently far from home, and so sometimes it's a little bit hard to time dinner for everything to come out when it's going to be nice and hot. So this is probably, ooh, got goodies in my hand. But in the interest of not allowing my potatoes to completely turn to mush in the crock pot, I decided to take them out and get the mash ready. This is something that I may have to nuke before we eat it, but that's fine. It's a little bit more of a textured mash, but I love it. All right, here is the state of the goat shoulders right now. Gorgeous. They smell lovely. And what I'm going to do is actually turn that crock pot on high because I want to make the gravy straight in the crock pot. We put a quart of the French onion soup in the pot, but the goat meat does also release its own juices, so there's probably anywhere between 5 and 6 cups worth of liquid. So I think I'm going to put a little bit more than 1/3 of a cup of flour in here, a little bit of milk, and mix that in with the soup to create a gravy. I may need to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Someone asked me recently what our favorite seasoning is. It's this. It's farm dust. I may need to add a little bit of this too, but I have to taste it. A little more. It's not the smoothest thing, but it'll do. Now, I just turned this up, so it wasn't exactly bubbling quite yet. That's okay. As I'm working in the kitchen this evening, I am going to periodically open this up, give that a little whisk just to make sure everything is coming together well and not sticking. I will very likely turn that down in a little bit too. At this point, the meat falls off the bone very, very well. That's what we're looking for. And I've mentioned this before. These bones are cooked, but they're not completely void of substance, and these we will save for bone broth. Addie, you want to come show your bird? Because they're going to ask. Who's that?
This is Redrick.
Redrick the sparrow. Where'd you find him?
Under the tree.
Under the tree.
Near the grapevine that's on the power pole.
Yep. She found this little dude after a rainstorm, so she's taking care of him. He's a sparrow. So that's the bird you hear in the background. Whoop! It's time to flip the cheese. This here is a little queso fresco that I'm putting together with the skim milk from that 5 gallons of milk that I took the cream off of earlier. When you make skim milk cheeses, your yield is a lot smaller because all that fat contributes to a lot of the end product of the cheese, and it's no longer in there. Skim milk cheeses are usually a little bit drier and a little bit like squeakier as far as the texture goes. A lot of questions come in on the channel about how much meat you can get off of a Nigerian dwarf goat. So for reference, this is the cooked meat off of one shoulder. You could probably feed 4 people as long as you had enough sides. Very likely we are going to have leftovers tonight. Oh, there she is. Girl, were you taking a nap? Yes, hold on. Can you wait till dinner for the rest of it? She loves goat. Both goat shoulders deboned, quite a lot. Gordon Ramsay's yelling at me for my chunky gravy. What are you? An idiot sandwich. It only needs a little bit of seasoning. I couldn't exactly remember all the seasonings that I had in the French onion soup. So I'm glad I didn't put seasoning on the goat. I could have easily oversalted this. Some driveway sunflowers. Most of this is still a wreck, but we're here to at least correct some of it. It rained a lot yesterday. We're gonna get some more rain. The garden loves it, but so do the weeds. Earlier today, I picked 2.5 gallons worth of the sugar snap peas, and I got them loaded in the freeze dryer. It took me probably an hour and a half to take all the strings off the side of the sugar snap peas. I think that's going to be worth the effort because I was watching a couple videos on freeze-dried snow peas, and that was the main complaint, was like the stringy and hard bits, so I took them off. Anyway, we've got some weeds. This is the bed that I'm actually going to focus on today. This year, in an effort to use more off of my farm and purchase a little bit less, I decided that I was going to mulch this garden with spent hay and rabbit manure from our barn. There's like an entire ant colony down here, so this should be fun. The ants have been absolutely everywhere. I like the idea in theory of using the stuff off of our land in this way, and I don't mind the rabbit manure and hay mixture underneath a layer of soil. I just don't think I can actually mulch with it because this is a lot. I don't usually have this much weeding to do at this point in the season. A lot of times my garden, especially this one over here, this perennial garden, it gets out of hand at some point. Usually by about mid-August, you can really tell that I've sort of given up on it. And by then, you know, our first frost, it's not, you know, super close, but it's within reach. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, so it's not super overwhelming. But this time of year, it is overwhelming. I look at it and I'm like, oh my goodness, what is this gonna look like by August if I don't get a handle on it? Now, in theory, once I get out a lot of this like loosely rooted stuff, that really should be it, because whatever seeds were in the hay will have germinated by now, and getting those seedlings out should kind of slow things down. Now, a lot of these beds are just set on top of grass, and some of the grasses do tend to come up through. That's some of the more rhizome type roots, those really long ones. This though, pretty shallowly rooted, and so far this isn't horrific to weed. Ugh. And it's a nice temperature out. That helps a lot. I expected Nugget to hang out with us. I guess he's hanging out with Buster. We have gotten just over 3 inches of rain in the last little bit. We're not fully caught up to where we should be for this time of year, but we're getting there, and it's nice. There we go. That looks so much better. And for reference, my camera was running for 28 minutes for that. It was not bad at all. None of those were really firmly rooted. I'm sure there's going to be little bits and pieces come up that I missed, but hopefully it doesn't get that bad again this season. There it is. Goodness. There. Wow. Took me a second. All 6 present and accounted for. This is a real big one that I lost in there. Look at how good they're growing. So cute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Got all 7 in here. Some of them are much bigger than others. This guy's pretty thin. I'm gonna see if I can get it to eat. You can really tell the difference between the kits here. Ooh, this really lean one. I don't see any kind of poking out of the belly at all. And this baby has a nice round belly. So this one needs to eat. Oh, girl. Now, I'm not entirely sure how much milk she's really making. I can see her teats, but there's not really a lot of volume around her teats. I'm gonna see if sausage has enough milk for it. So her teat right here, and surrounding it is nice and full. So we'll see. Yep. The rabbits in my rabbit tree are all fed the same food. So in theory, they should all have the same ability to make like the same quality and quantity of milk. The thing is that sometimes genetically or physiologically, certain creatures just don't produce the same amount, even given the same type of support. That's true for goats, that's true for humans. And so it might be one of the reasons that our Californians really haven't been working out. They may not have the physiology to really support a large number of kids. Oh yeah, he's definitely getting some. She's a little less engorged on that teat. I'd like the baby's belly to be a little bit more round than it is. It's gonna be a little hard to tell on camera. But even though I've seen it suckling, it's not like it's drawing up a lot of milk. It might be a little difficult for mom to let down because this is kind of a interesting situation that she's not normally in. What I'll probably do though is just put this kit in her nest box because I know she has supported very large litters before. Right now she only has 6, which is a small litter for her, and so she can adopt this one easily. And it is pretty vigorous, so I have some high confidence that the next time she jumps in the nest box in order to feed her babies, this one will have the energy to hop on. It's at least gotten a few drops, because I've been able to express a little bit and then put the baby on. So a little bit of energy there. I've tried bottle feeding baby rabbits before using goat's milk, and it hasn't ever worked out. So if we see a struggling kit, this is our favorite way to help. Okay, let's go. I do have 3 more moms set to give birth this week, so I have 3 nest boxes to pass out and a couple babies to wean. Promptly and Jumper both have kits in with them, but they haven't been nursing for a long time. But it is time to get these guys out. Actually, we're past time to get these guys out. It's a little bit dark in the barn because we are overcast. We are going to get another round of rain coming through here, which is welcome. But what is not welcome was we just ran out of hot water on the farm because our hot water heater broke. Levi just left for Lowe's. Thankfully, he's very handy and he knows how to replace one. But it's milking time, and because I don't have hot water, I don't want to use my milking machine. I could like take water from the barn and heat it up on the stove in the house and it would be fine. Our barn main is separate from our house main. Right now, Levi has our house main turned off. But instead of doing that, I'm just gonna hand milk today. And it might be a little bit hard on my arm. One of the reasons that I do use a milk machine is because I do have a bad elbow. And this time of year when I'm doing a lot of weeding in the garden, that's about what my elbow can handle. To weed on top of hand milking can be kind of a lot, but every once in a while it shouldn't be a problem. What's awesome is right now it is raining. You can probably hear it. I don't know if you can hear it over the fans, but it used to leak. The roof of our barn used to leak right over the milking area, right onto my head when it was raining, and it's not leaking right now. That's a win. Fingers starting to feel it. realize the concrete in there wasn't sealed. Do you think that lime is going to be enough to soak that?
It'll help at least.
Good evening. You see the mess I made over here? We've been cleaning it. Levi has a concrete cleaner right now. It's in the middle of drying. This will be okay. We are going to let it fully dry, and then we're going to go ahead and at least seal that spot. Should have put something like greenhouse plastic underneath, or even, I don't know, some kind of a tarp. That would have been smart. Didn't do it. It's okay. Anyhow, I have sugar snap peas in the freeze dryer. They've been drying for 53 hours, but I have had about 20 hours of extra dry time on here. So they're definitely ready to come out. Ooh, these remind me a lot of the Snap Pea Crisp snacks that we have bought at the store before. I didn't do anything to these besides cook them. I cooked them for about 10 minutes before putting them in the freeze dryer. And this is what we have. I thought about potentially dusting on some kind of seasoning so we can eat them like chips, but I wanted to see what they were like, just like this. Good crunch, green flavor. It tastes just like the peas do, but oddly less sweet. I expected them to be even more intense in flavor. The freeze dryer can really intensify certain flavors, but this is nice. I don't know if you can tell there, I bit straight through a pea and it wasn't hard as a rock. These would be very nice with some kind of seasoning, but this way they're super versatile. I'll definitely do this again. Got these little Mylar bags to put them in. I know Mylar bags are the best for long-term storage. The one gripe that I do have with them is that really delicate things like this, it'd be easy to just crush them into oblivion just by trying to store them like on a shelf or in a cabinet or something. Just a little bit of pressure can really break them apart. If you guys know of a more long-term, more sturdy option, I mean, I know there are like 5-gallon buckets and things that people store food in long-term. Those also can have like Mylar bags inserted into them. But is there an option like a mason jar, that kind of sturdy, that's long-term? Let me know. I don't know. That's a really pleasant flavor. I didn't taste one cooked, I don't think. So for all I know, some of the sweetness might have come out during the cooking process and not necessarily the freeze drying process. The reason I cooked them first is I was watching a video where another homesteader actually tested it out. She freeze dried them raw, she freeze dried them after just blanching, and then she freeze dried the peas after cooking them for 10 minutes, and she determined that the cooking them after 10 minutes made them the best overall. Eaten fresh or eaten dried just like this straight out of the freeze dryer, or for rehydrating and using them that way. The oxygen absorbers. Go, all sealed up. So pretty. Good morning. It's a little bit drizzly outside today, but we've got a decent amount of light coming into the rabbitry. Jumper and Bow were both supposed to kindle yesterday. I don't see any obvious signs that Jumper has kindled. And by that, I mean I don't see any evidence that she's pulled any hair. And her nest looks rather undisturbed. Now, she has done a great job in hiding kits from me before. I don't feel anything. I might pull her out and palpate her belly and see if I feel anything in there. Oh, we do have kits from Bow. So we do unfortunately have this one that's outside the nest. It's cold, but that doesn't mean that it's gone. They're not dead until they're warm and dead. It's a little bit stiff, but even then. So what I do is stick them in my shirt so they can warm up. There's actually another dead one in here. This one is warm and dead. I've actually never seen this before. This baby is all tangled up in the hay. Oh my goodness. Can you see that? It's like wrapped around its little forearm here. Oh my goodness. I know. Okay, I know. I think I've got to cut it off. These are very sharp. Oh, wow. I don't even know if I got that on camera. Oh, baby. Can you see his little foot? This one's all swollen. Oh my gosh. We'll watch it. My goodness, you guys. So, she's made a nest. I think Bao might have done this last time too. She made a nest, but there weren't any kits back in the nest. They were all in the front. Thankfully, it's pretty warm right now, so it's not a huge deal. I am going to put them back in the nest. But it looks like she had 6. 4 are alive. One of them has that injury on his paw. Poor thing. But they're nice and round. So I'll stick them back where they belong. Okay, here's Jumper. So I'm going to go ahead and palpate her, but I can tell you right now, whoo, this is a little slippery. When I took her out, I could feel that she has milk in her teats. Yeah. Yep. She's got a few in here. All right, we'll put you back. Promptly here is due on Thursday, and she's got a belly for sure. Let's check on Beato's kits. So I had fostered over one of Beato's to Sausage. That fostered, unfortunately, did not make it. No matter how much I put it on the teat, it never seemed to really be able to take in the milk. It might have had something wrong with it. It might just have gotten too weak. So unfortunately, we did lose that one, and we did lose the one pink baby that Addie had brought back to life. I think we talked about that last week. So she had 6, we're down to 4. We hope we still have the 4. I stopped counting kits by about 7 days old. Sometimes I'll count them every day up until about 10 days old when they've got their eyes open and they're really, you know, vigorous and wily. Oh, must have counted wrong. She's the one that had 7 at first. I was wondering why there was 5 babies in here, but that's good. They're gonna be a little hard to see, but 5 chunky babies, that's what we like to see. Fat and happy. And it does get a little bit more dark as we come back here, but we're gonna make sure Sausage still has her 6. Looks like at least some of them are in the front of the nest. See them here? Let's see. Hi. Yeah, 1, whoops, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the front of the nest. Super fat. Let's make sure we've got 1 back here. Yep. And it's alive. So she's got her 6. I guess they're happy up front. but I may still put them back here, and if they want to come back out, they can. I get a little bit nervous that they could get stepped on or easily kind of popcorn out of the box and then catch a chill, because if they get out, no matter how great of a mother this rabbit is, she's not going to put them back in the nest. They don't have those kind of instincts. This one is so cute. There you go. Sweet dreams. Good girl. Alright, let's see how we're doing in here. I don't know, guys. Warming up, but not totally warm yet. We'll see. They say if their feet are purple, they're too far gone. You know, I'm not quite sure. Nope, it's gone. So the pigs got 2 bunny treats yesterday, and they'll get 2 bunny treats today. Hopefully no more bunny treats for the pigs for a very long time. My goats are being kind of loud this morning. That's because they're out of alfalfa. This is all I have as far as feed left on the farm. I've got to do a feed run today. They really crank through that free choice alfalfa when they're cooped up in the barn. So I'm going to give them a little bit of hay. Oh, speaking of, I just noticed it looks like we are actually leaking into the barn underneath our new hay. We didn't have much of a mud season for us to test this new barn space out during our normal wet season, so I guess we're getting to test it out during our abnormal wet season. We may lose this bottom row of hay to mold, but that's okay. Are you hungry, red girl? Watch out, here I come. There we go. Yes, you too. Go eat. Oh, Red, you're too big for that. Yes, we graduate out of jumping on the human at a certain point. One reason that I don't hide things like this from you guys is because I know darn well the encouragement that it brings to see somebody have success amidst what looks like chaos. I had to come in and get you because I was doing a little bit of work out here. I finally got some cardboard down next to the pumpkins, and I decided to turn my attention over here so I could free up some of the weeds around these zinnias, because I know this is going to be my favorite part of the garden in just, you know, a month's time. Anyway, if you remember, when did I plant these? I think it might have been December. I put some garlic in the ground. I've got my elephant garlic back here. We've been talking about this in garden tours, but I really thought that the garlic that I put in from store-bought cloves was basically done for. The greens didn't look very good after a couple frosts that we had, and then of course I let this go to weeds, and I just knew that there wasn't anything underground. Look at this garlic, you guys. I'm over here dumbfounded because this is about the size of the heads of garlic that I pulled the cloves off to put in the ground. This was random garlic that I got from my sister-in-law. She got a whole bunch of it. It said it was from Spice World. I don't know if she got it from Costco or Sam's or whatever. I just know that she had a lot of it, and I couldn't go through it before it started to sprout, so we put it in the garden. Look at that, I still have more to pull. I just had to come get you so you could do this with me. So amidst all of that, it is kind of hard to tell what's going on, but if you see a little bit of brown, like brown looking grass, that there is a garlic bulb. Look at it. There's a little one here. This is about what I expected, okay? Not this. I think that might be it. A lot of it genuinely did kind of die off, and that's why I didn't expect anything out of that bed. But look at that. This is probably at least as much garlic as I put in, if not more. But it's something amidst apparent neglect. So I'll take it. This kind of perseverance is one thing that I kind of like to keep seeds back for. It's why I like to keep seeds from like my volunteer plants on my farm, because they have persevered through a lot in order to not just survive but thrive. And so yeah, I will probably save some, if not all of these back as seed garlic, because clearly they can handle a lot of abuse. As you can see, the chickens and the rabbits are getting big inside their tractors. These chickens are in the tractors because when I tried to put them in the electric netting with the turkeys and ducks, they weaseled out of the netting pretty easily. They've gotten a lot bigger now, and so I could try that again, but I'm actually thinking about just introducing them into the chicken coop. The reason I want to keep them separate as long as possible is that these guys need to be on like a grower. What my laying hens are on right now is a layer, and it has a little bit less protein. Things are just a little bit less ideal for growing out of that layer feed, but being that it's summer and there's a lot of bugs out, there's a lot of greens, I think they can make up the difference foraging and then just get basics with the feed. So I think we'll get to that next week. We also may process these rabbits this weekend and then put these ones that we stuck out here out on grass. I'm thinking I was wrong this whole time about Jumper having babies when I palpated. She's probably just fat. I will still look, but it doesn't really look like she kindled. Promptly does look like she has babies in there though. Today's her due date. Just want to eyeball real quick, make sure we don't have any babies outside of the nest. Ooh, pretty. This one has like an otter coloring. See that pink underneath and the black on top? I've not seen her have a kit like that before. Ooh, there's a couple of them like that. We're still going. Wow. Good job. Check them out. Just got a full litter. They look gorgeous. Ooh, careful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wonderful. Good job, darling. Oh, she did. There's babies in here. Good, I don't feel gaslit. Good job. Let's see. Wow. That's a massive newborn. 1, 2. I think, yeah, that's it. The rest is just hair. 2. So, she's gonna be going in the freezer with her babies. There you go. Some people may ask, Promptly had 11, Jumper only had 2. Would it make sense for me to foster some over? Only if I trusted my Californians as much as I trust Promptly. If it was in reverse, I totally would have done that. Promptly is a much better mother. There's just something about my Californians. We are phasing out of the Californian breed. I don't necessarily think it's the breed themselves. I think that they just don't jive with the way that I like to run things on my farm. I don't like to breed as intensively as I think maybe this specific breed of rabbit was designed to be bred. It seems like if they are not in production mode, then they are, I guess, in production mode in a way with their own bodies, just layering on the fat inside of them. And trust me, the fat is very hard to get off of them once they put it on, and it's just a vicious cycle. Those of you who have been following the channel closely know that we are switching our rabbitry over to silver foxes, and I specifically bought rabbits from a rabbitry that raises their rabbits like I like to raise mine. They don't breed over summer, they don't breed super intensively, they actually leave the hoppers of feed completely full all the time, and their rabbits don't get overweight. That just fits a little bit better with us, I think, and they're not old enough to breed yet, but come fall time, I'm really excited to see the silver foxes producing. Can we see your babies? I want to check on the one that had the hay wrapped around its leg. Yeah, it's this one. It's still pretty obvious which kit, but it does look like it's healing. It's got better color. The swelling has gone down. I haven't done anything for it, just been watching it. Looks good. Yeah, and the other ones are okay too. She's got all her babies this morning. Vito's are getting really big. Look at so cute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. They're hanging out in front of the nest again today. I can see that all 6 are here. We've got 3 of the brokens and 3 black. Gosh, they're just precious. They'll be opening their eyes in, just a few days. Woo! Gosh, okay, don't jump out. It's already so hot outside. I think the fact that it's rained a lot in the last few days does not help as far as the humidity outside, but 'tis the season. And even though it's summertime, I guess it's probably not even quite summertime, but even though it feels like summertime outside, I need to start thinking about the fall and winter garden. In years past, I haven't gotten my timing quite right. We bought our greenhouse and I assumed that that heat inside the greenhouse, whatever the greenhouse could retain over the course of the day, would be enough to get certain plants through a little bit further into the season. And while that is true to an extent, I think that light matters a lot more than I had realized previously. So I was speaking to a couple of local friends who are Amish, and they told me that right about now is the time that I need to be starting my fall and winter brassicas if I want to be harvesting them by about Thanksgiving and Christmas, before our really cold winter weather sets in, which is around January time frame. Right here in the shed is my seed starting space, so I'm going to be putting that back together and getting seeds started very soon. So look forward to that basically first thing next week, because I've got to get those going probably today. Anywho, thank you for joining me on another weekly vlog. I'll see you guys again soon.